Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Nicola Donnelly, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Staff Cadet Samuel McInerney. We warmly welcome the family of Private Ishmael Braithwaite, whose story will be told shortly. We are honoured to acknowledge the Honourable Avril Haines, Director, National Intelligence, United States of America, accompanied by Mr. Andrew Shearer, Director General of National Intelligence Australia, and their accompanying delegation. We warmly welcome the members of graduating class of the Royal Military College Duntroon, who are joining us this evening. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family, visitors to the memorial, and students on behalf of Rehoboth Christian College, Kenwick, Western Australia. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. If you require a seat, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Ishmael Braithwaite. Ishmael Braithwaite was born on the 25th of July, 1889 in Nowra, New South Wales. Known as Ish, he was one of 8 children born to builder William Braithwaite and his wife Marion. The family remained in Nowra throughout Ishmael's childhood. He attended Nowra Superior School before going on to find work as a painter. While in his teens, Ishmael was also a member of the senior cadets in Nowra. In 1911, Ishmael Braithwaite married local woman Edith Alice Keft. The couple moved into a house on Moss Street in Nowra where they had 3 children, William in 1911, Mavis in 1913, and Ivy in 1915. Braithwaite developed a reputation amongst family and friends for his cheeky nature, which sometimes landed him in trouble. In 1916, he was charged with riotous behaviour after being caught jumping about on the footpath and behaving in a disorderly manner on Junction Street in Nowra. Ishmael Braithwaite enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 24th of January 1917. He was allotted to reinforcements of the 1st Australian Infantry Battalion with the rank of private. 2 weeks later, Private Ishmael Braithwaite departed Sydney on the 10th of February 1917, bound for England. Braithwaite arrived in Plymouth in England on the 11th of April 1917 and joined a training battalion in camp at Durrington. At the end of April, he was transferred to the 62nd Battalion. He remained training in England until late August 1917, where he proceeded overseas to France. Braithwaite was taken on strength of the 35th Infantry Battalion outside Wismar in northern France, assigned to 16 Platoon in D Company. He joined the men training and resting behind the lines. At the end of September, the battalion left the relative safety of Wismar and travelled to Zonnebaker sector in Belgium, where it overtook the trenches of the 13th King's Own Regiment. After a brief stint in the trenches around Zonnebaker, the battalion withdrew to Windseel Camp to prepare to attack the besieged village of Passchendaele on the 12th of October. The battalion left its jumping-off point at dawn and faced near constant German machine gun fire, which caused heavy casualties. While sheltering in a shell hole with 4 others, Braithwaite was subjected to heavy German barrage. After leaving to advance towards the battalion's objective, witnesses saw Braithwaite wounded through the left elbow by a German bullet. E.J. Torpey, a stretcher bearer with the battalion, bandaged Braithwaite's wound as best as he could and instructed him to make his way back to the dressing station about a mile away. Torpey saw Braithwaite take off towards the station, but soon lost sight of him in the heavy shelling. When the battalion regrouped the next day, Private Ishmael Braithwaite was one of 56 men missing in action. Back in Australia, Edith was informed that her husband was missing in action, and inquiries were began to be made in an attempt to determine his fate. Writing to Base Records in December 1917, Edith admitted, "I am well aware that it will probably take time to find out anything definitive to concerning him. And as long as I know someone is trying to help me, it does not seem so hard." In May 1918, it was determined that Private Ishmael Braithwaite had been killed in action on the 12th of October 1917 at Passchendaele. He was 28 years old. Braithwaite's final resting place was never recovered. He is commemorated today on the Menin Gates in Ypres alongside names of over 6,000 Australians who died fighting in Belgium and who have no known grave. He is also commemorated on a headstone on the family grave in Nowra Cemetery. Ishmael's name is also listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today by the Pool of Reflection. This is one but of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. Now we remember Private Ishmael Braithwaite, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall not grow old, as we who are left grow old. Age should not weary them, nor the years condemn. And in the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them. Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support during the memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening. Thank you.